Lights. At first there was darkness, then there were lights. I'm not God, I just want to be. I want to make lights. Ever since I made a $6,300 lamp that wasn't well received, I've been wanting to make more, but better. Because you can in fact 3D print lamps. It must be an untapped market. This is me trying to make the perfect one. But then again, what is a perfect lamp? I know it's a subjective thing, but there must be a way to make lamps better. Everything is a process, and the most painful thing of a creative process is all the failure. But after the process, maybe I can revolutionize the lamp industry. Maybe that's a bit too high of a goal, but maybe I can just find some way to improve the way we think about lamps. You need high goals in order to get there, don't you? I'm just throwing myself out there like an inventor. Ever since I moved into my new workshop, I have realized that I need more lights, and I heard about a design secret that gave me the idea. In contrast to the harsh ceiling lights and the video lights that you never really see, there are only two lamps here to create a vibe. And having made a 3D printed lamp in the past, I want to try to do more. So here's the idea. What if it was something that was movable, or more transformable, and no wall socket? I just have to come up with an idea. The first thing I did was some research, and I learned things I think everyone deserves to know. The thing that most people miss in their homes to make it look really good are lights. And one of those secret design principles that decorators know about, but not necessarily tell you, is that every room needs a set amount of lights. How many do you think? Well, it's actually 7. I know it sounds excessive, but only until you try. The 7 light principle is used to ensure a room feels layered, warm, and dynamic. So I'll break them down. The overhead lamp, usually a ceiling lamp. It's pretty boring and overused. Task lighting. This could be a reading lamp or a desk lamp. Accent lighting. Spotlights on arts or shelves. Ambient lighting. Soft lights that fill in shadows, like wall lamps. Decorative lighting. Lights that are just meant to be seen. Natural light, windows, and how they interact with artificial light. Unexpected lights, like a hidden LED strip or lights behind furniture or under a cabinet. And the idea for this project was to make something that can be a lot of those things. A sort of transformable lamp. But I also wanted to use something that I did for my last lamp, which was making a layered shading, but play around more with it. Because it's one of those cool things that I think can change the way we think about lamps. I started this idea out by simply ordering a pack of LED pucks. These are very inexpensive. They turn on with a push on the LED or with a remote, and they offer 3 different colors. They also have a magnet in the bottom, which I plan to use. The downside, they don't shine that bright, but then again, they are rechargeable, so no need for wires. These would actually make for a great wall-mounted decoration lamp, so more about them later. A second option are these LED pucks from Bamboo Lab. The really good thing about these are that they are quite inexpensive. They have a regular USB cord, so all you need is to plug it in and it lights up. And there are so many models to just download and print on MakerWorld. So that's the first thing I tried. Then I started designing, but I didn't really feel it. No creative juices were flowing. So the first thing I did was, well, pretty bad. Forgive me, but after being on vacation for 3 weeks, my creativity's been rusting. It actually looked more like a bowl, so I threw that out and went back to the drawing board. For the life of me, I couldn't really come up with anything. So I turned to expensive lamps once again, and I found this. This is called Passiflora, and the price was an incredible $3,300 for a small table lamp. So I decided to try to make it just to get my CAD skills back in motion, and maybe it would give me more ideas. So I sat down and modeled up something that's basically the same as the Passiflora, and then I printed that. And this is a rather big print, but I was lucky because I have a new printer from Bamboo Lab, the H2S. It's a follow-up in their H series of flagship printers, and this has an even larger print area of 340 by 320 by 340 millimeters, which is really big. There are many good things about Bambu Lab printers, but my favorite is that every time I unbox and install a new printer, I can rely on that it just works out of the box. It's just a matter of setting it up and getting it up and running. It was the same with this one. I'm the guy who loves 3D printing, but not necessarily 3D printers. I don't care too much about swapping out parts or trying to improve the machine on my own because, quite frankly, it usually just makes the result worse. I just want it to 3D print and I want the prints to look as good as possible, and that's what I get from Bambu Lab. After the print was done, I installed the LED kit from Bambu Lab and turned it on and showed my worst critic. I've made a 3D printed lamp. I just want your opinion, right?
Okay.
Okay, so here it is.
Ah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's also a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, yeah. It's actually not my design.
Okay.
I ripped it off from a designer lamp, and this one, the original, was 33,000 Swedish crowns.
Ooh, expensive.
That's a lot of money for
Plastic.
basically plastic. But yeah, I need to come up with something original because this is just stolen.
Yeah, but I think you can do something cooler.
Well, I hope so.
It's very designish.
It's not very the Swedish Maker Workshop
No.
lighting.
No.
I agree. We can put it in our bedroom.
It's like a children's lamp.
That's true. Okay, I need to figure something better out.
Good luck.
It might sound like my wife decides everything and that she's hard to please. That's not really the case. It's just that we're two about the decisions, and I trust her opinion. And I respect that she can tell me what she thinks instead of just saying, "That's great." We all need someone like that in our lives. I'm a maker. I'd like to think that I have good taste. So does most people. But I'm not necessarily a designer. A lot of skilled woodworkers are not. They're really good at making the thing, but maybe not at designing it. Some are, certainly not all. So having someone that can advise on design is not only good for the sake of getting input, it can elevate your work. The struggle of coming up with ideas usually leads me back to my own principle. An original idea is just two or more ideas combined. So what if I would combine a floor-standing lamp with a desk lamp, with a wall lamp? What if I can make them all in one? Okay, here's the plan. What if I can make a lamp that can attach to the wall but also be removed from the wall and attached to a floor-standing lamp? Or even the ceiling? Or why not just place it on a table? Eventually I came up with something that I liked, so I printed that, but with embedded magnets that I inserted mid-print. This is of course optional, but I thought it would be cool. So once again I had the H2S do the heavy lifting. And then my wife told me something that I didn't think about whilst designing. She said that she always had this idea that if something is thinner and sleeker, it looks more well-made. And sometimes criticism hurts, even when it's good. So that left me a little bummed out and I wanted to make a new iteration, but instead I got sidetracked from my idea and started trying out real lights instead. I had these brass sockets and I also really liked the translucent PLA and I wanted to combine them. So I drew up two versions of a lamp and printed that. And even though they looked cool, it didn't feel like the accomplishment I was after. I had to get back to my original ideas. So I drew up the initial idea once again, but this time I adapted some of the ideas of my wife. I also made the slots in the shape more drop-shaped, and I added a slot in the middle that will prevent the print from snapping. So what's new with the Bambu Lab H2S? Well, if you've been around 3D printers for a while, you know how Bambu Lab changed the landscape. And this latest release, it just pushes it even further. This is the most advanced single nozzle printer I have ever used up to date. Printing bigger things like this back in the day wasn't really an option to me because it would take days and days. But with this one, this print only took 8 hours. And if you install a high flow nozzle, you can reduce print times even further. Now, if you're wondering, will this support the laser module? Yes, it will. And of course, this one also comes with the AMS2 Pro. There's an affiliate link down in the description if you want to check it out. As that was printing, I decided to do some woodworking for a floor standing version. The idea being that if the lamp can be removable, it can move from one place to another and be all different kinds of lamps in one. So with that in mind, I started making something. I milled wood and 3D printed a template that I could use to create the top part of the lamp with. I was back in a flow, thinking this could actually turn into something. There are a couple of things that people talk about that I just find the most boring things to listen to. It's vacations and dreams. When someone says, "You can't believe what I dreamt about tonight," a piece of me dies inside. But daydreaming, on the other hand, that I can find interesting. What are you daydreaming about? Whilst I was standing there doing my woodworking and whilst the printer was running, I was thinking about how IKEA would call me up after finishing the lamp and say, "We can't believe what you did there. Here's $1 million in further development money and then we'll sell it in our stores." I know it's silly, but it keeps me young. I like daydreaming. It's the way I get shit done. So there I was, daydreaming and hoping this would look good. Because there's obviously a gap between what you imagine when you start and the final thing. For me at least, the final result never really matches the vision. But sometimes it does. The vision for this oak was to simply have a curved piece of wood, but to get around the whole wood bending, I took a shortcut and made it easy on myself. I think it's a general thing for humans, make it easier on ourselves. You never really hear about someone who made a car that's meant to be slow or a woodworker that made a chair with the intention of being slightly uncomfortable. Or maybe you do, but it's always a byproduct. And I think that's where a 3D printed lamp is ideal. It's easier if I can just manufacture it myself. For one, I get it when I want it. And secondly, I don't have to wait for a delivery. What I'm saying isn't that I'm lazy, I'm enjoying the making of it, but it's a way of making my life easier somehow. Well, the woodworking perhaps isn't making my life easier, it's just enjoyable. A 3D printed template to flush trim the wood is one of my favorite ways of using my 3D printer for woodworking. It saves me time, and if I want, I can reuse the template later. Now, the reason I'm taking some shortcuts on this floor standing lamp is because every time I do things like this, I consider it a prototype. If I love the lamp, I can revisit this and do steam bending and really invest time in it. But for now, in my mind, this is a prototype. As you can see, the wood grain won't follow the shape of the lamp. That's the shortcut. But here's a secret. Lots of people won't care. If you're a woodworker, you notice things like this all the time, but everyone else is none the wiser. They won't think about it. To them, it is just wood as much as you probably won't notice the quality of stitching on a pair of pants. Talking about prototyping, whilst I was woodworking, I kept printing prototypes. For one, I made a lamp that just sits on the wall with a LED puck in the middle. The H2S would let me try out even bigger things than I have been able to do before. After seeing it on the wall, I didn't care too much for it. But it's a way of trying things out. All of the files from this video will be uploaded and available on makerworld.com. So if you want to 3D print some of the lamps, you can get the files there.
Light is falling without focus, calling you to start seeing through it all, breaking open all the questions, tearing you apart, but you're still in the dark.
It's a very basic thing, but if I'm lucky, this magnetic function will work perfectly, and I have a transformable lamp that I can attach to the floor standing wooden thing. This time around, the 3D printed lamp came out a lot better, and this thing is big. It's got 5 magnets in the bottom. One of them in the center is for the LED magnetic puck, and the others are for magnetizing to other things. So the first thing I did was make a simple wall adapter. This thing attaches to the wall and has the magnets embedded. And after installing the LED puck in the center, we can cover it up with the shading. And the shading also has magnets in it, so whenever I want to, I can swap them out and replace the shading with others. So I made different versions. And then we have this. This is a hole at the top for attaching it to the wooden floor lamp. So if I slide this on the wood and then add a screw at the top for security, then I should be able to pick this up and just hang it from the floor lamp like this.
That's pretty cool. Let's turn it on. All right, it's wireless. I can change the colors. I can swap out this guy for this one. And boink. And I can grab the wall mount and put it on the wall.
After all was said and done, I turned all the lights on again. This time I installed a fake window flashlight I bought. It just uses a shading that makes it look like there's a shadow from a natural light coming in from a window. It's fake. I turned on the 3D printed lamp I downloaded from Maker World. I turned on the $3,300 lamp, the fake one. I turned on my camera lamp, dimmed down the ceiling lights. I installed my newly made lamp in the floor standing version. I replaced the white shading with a translucent PLA one. I don't think I revolutionized the lamp industry. This venture perhaps wasn't about the final product, but the idea. Maybe someone can take it further. Maybe someone can use the idea of a lamp that is transformable. I printed several shapes just to try the idea out, and it works. It just needs perfection. It's all about taking the idea you have and combining it with already existing ideas to turn it into something new and creative.